Hi guys, David McMahon, Maximum Life Academy. Now, if your wife or long-term girlfriend cheats, she loses in the long run, guaranteed. Now, when I'm helping couples in relationships, if they're married or common law means you've lived with somebody more than 6 months. But essentially, the law sees it as a marriage. But women who cheat, I've said this before, you will get two types of women. You'll have a woman who is a serial cheater. That woman you need to get out of your life as quick as possible. And then you get women which are what I call situational cheaters. It means they've cheated because the man has pushed them into it. Now, she's accountable for her own behavior, but we're not here to fix that. What we're here to do is to fix you, because that's what I always start. So if I have a couple that come to me, I always work with the man first. I get him on point, because the way to change a woman's behavior for the way you want it to be properly is you need to change your behavior. And we're going to get into that as we go on. But essentially, every time I've seen a woman who's cheated, she always loses out. Now, I'm going to go through the reasons why she loses out so you can understand it. Because it's good to have an understanding of why. Because then you can kind of like feel sorry for her when you're getting her back into the relationship, to then make sure she doesn't cheat again, because you're never going to tolerate it a second time. You never, okay? The first time, most of the time, it's because of the guy has behaved badly. And I say you change your behavior, you change your life. If you want anything in life, you have to be prime in your behavior. That's what I teach, prime masculine behavior. But again, I'll stress, she's accountable for herself, okay? And what you find is when a woman cheats and then she falls back in love with a husband who she's cheated on, or a long-term boyfriend, she then feels guilty, and we'll explain that. So let's go through the 4 reasons. There are more, but these are kind of like intertwined, and there's other ones that spiral off this. But these 4 are generally the way. Now, most of my training is biblically based, okay? Most of my clients are Christians, and I tell people, even if they're not Christians, you don't have to believe in God to learn from my system, okay? It's like breathing air. You don't have to believe God when you breathe air. It's a similar thing, okay? That's down to you. Now, there's what's called a soul tie. Women struggle if they've had, and this research has been done on a regular basis, if a woman has had more than 7 sexual partners, her chances of having a long-term successful relationship is pretty rare. So what I do with my female clients who are single and want to attract a very high-value man, I tell them they need at least 2 years of celibacy. And if they balk on that, then I just say, look, you're not going to make it. Because all you're going to do, you're going to go back on Tinder, you're going to meet guys. It's just going to perpetuate itself. So you need 2 years of celibacy. Well, that's what I tell them. We're not talking about this on this. So the soul tie is when a woman is intimate with a man, she always releases oxytocin, which is a very powerful emotional connector. We are biological, spiritual, and electrical beings. Okay, that's what we are. So we communicate electrically, chemically, and verbally. That's what we do. So women feel the emotion of being connected intimately to a man. So they get these soul ties, and these need eliminating. Okay, there's work that a woman has to do. That's why I always say celibacy. That's why when a woman comes back to a man in a relationship, you need to really work on the relationship before you get intimate again. It's extremely important. So the soul ties she loses out on, because what that means is she cannot fully commit emotionally to a man, especially a guy who she's going to be cheating on. So that's one aspect. The second, and this is very important, if a woman ever hits on me who's married, I find it extremely disrespectful, and I mean extremely disrespectful to me, and it's an ick. It's disgusting. It's horrible. You know, I said this to a woman once. I says, "You married, aren't you?" "Yeah." "So what's going on?" Talking to her, and I says, "Let me just take you down a few steps here. Imagine if you and I got intimate. Imagine if you and I got together and we had a relationship. Do you think I'd ever trust you?" And I just kept quiet, and I let her, and she went. So I answered the question for her. I says, "No. High-value men will never date another man's girlfriend. Why? Because what do you think she's not going to do that to you? Of course not. And especially he's not going to date another man's wife. It's never going to happen. So what are the quality of these men that this woman is going to attract? Well, I guarantee the quality is either she's going to pick up on a player who just wants to get laid, or she's going to pick up on another cuttlefish who she can manipulate, because most guys don't know what they're doing with men. So there's where she's at. You know, she's working. Most of the time women have affairs with guys at work. You know, that's going to wreck his career. It's going to cause problems in the office. And eventually when she does come back to you, if you're working with me, then he's just going to be an idiot. He's going to feel an idiot, and then he's going to get angry, and then you've got all of this kind of stuff. So the quality of the man she's going to attract isn't going to work. It's not going to work for her. Okay, she's going to lose. So she's going to get more and more frustrated. But again, that is not your problem. It's her problem. Okay, emotional damage. Women are not designed, and neither are men, but more so women are not designed to have multiple sexual partners. They are not designed that way. It's really bad for them. Okay, it's just no good. They have to have dealt with issues in their lives, and if they've had a failed marriage, they need time apart from that relationship to heal. Otherwise, all they're going to do is they're just going to keep perpetuating that bad relationship karma, if you like. And I don't like using that word, but it's just going to carry that baggage through. And guys, when they're dating women, high-value men, doesn't matter how attractive the woman is, what he's doing is he's trying to see if she's dealt with baggage from other guys. He doesn't want that baggage coming into his life, okay? So again, the emotional damage that she's going to create to herself is going to be pretty tough, because the guy she's going to be cheating on you with is going to also have emotional damage. It's kind of like the fruit of the poisonous tree. So that's another aspect why she loses. And the other one is shame. A woman will always feel shame when she's betrayed her marital vows, okay? So she may drink more, she may do other things. It doesn't matter. She's going to feel that shame. We're able to process emotions better than women. And women, the emotions with women are very volatile. So that's when I say to a guy that's done the work, and if you eventually get into my program, I do a lot of work on where you have to be this emotional rock for the woman that comes back into your life, who may or may not have cheated. You don't know a lot of the time, but she's going to have a lot of shame. She's going to have a lot of guilt. So she blows up. And then when you're able to deal with that, then, you know, you become a rock for her. But that's it in a nutshell where she is. She will always lose. You will always lose, because the guy she wants masculinity. The reason she's cheated on you or thinking of cheating on you is because you're not turning up masculine. Okay, and as I say, you change your behavior, you change your life, and you get your wife back. And some of the times as well, what you'll find, if the more work you're doing on yourself, the more pressure it puts on her. She then realizes she's got to do work on herself, and if she doesn't, because you've outgrown her, you can then decide if you want to take her back. And if you're a Christian man, you have every right under the Gospel of Mark to divorce her if she's been maritally unfaithful. It's right there out of the mouth of Christ. But again, that's down to you. I would much prefer to repair the marriage, okay? And this other guy who is come in, he's just being used. That's all that's happening, okay? He's just being used. Now, let's look at you. Because I don't like when guys are being coached by me, I don't want to hear all the problems of the wife. Oh, she does this, she does this. I say to them, look, buddy, the problem in your marriage is because of you. You are accountable for that marriage going down. You're accountable to God, okay? You have to love your wife properly. Now, love means doing all of the things for the woman to make her feel safe, secure, and loved. Safe, secure, and loved. And when she feels that, she then trusts you. She lets her guard down. That is your job to do that, okay? So let's have a look at you. The accountability which I've just give you there, the buck stops at you. No excuses. I don't accept any excuses when guys are on the phone with me. I get right down to the brass tacks and I tell them, the problem in your life is because of your behavior. Everything that has happened to you is because of your behavior. So that is the foundation that we build off. So accountability. Okay. And another thing, what guys do is they live for a woman. You've got to stop living for a woman. It never works. You must put your masculinity first. You must put your purpose first. And then the woman fits into that. She complements the life. But if any time you're looking for your masculinity and your purpose to be fulfilled by a woman's love, it will never work, and she'll hate you for it, because she wants you to be on a mission and she wants your masculinity to be on point, and then she comes alongside you and complements it like cream in coffee. Work on restoring your masculinity. You must bring your masculinity back on point. What guys do when things aren't going right, they overcomplicate things, they overcompliment the woman, they try and do more to get her, because he wants to feel safe and secure. He wants that woman's love back. So he does lots and lots of things to get her. He manipulates it. That doesn't work. You have to do things to please yourself first. And this is when I started getting a lot of success with women. I could attract women when I was younger, but I didn't know how to be around a woman till I was about 18. But once I realized what I was doing was focusing on what I wanted out of life, why I wanted it, and I went out and did it. So I just took risks. I went forward, I led other people, I started breaking ground, I started having success. Do you see where I'm coming from? So I was getting fed by that. My masculinity was being fed by that. So I was this ball of energy, still am today, but I'm trying to take you back to where I was when I had this realization. So women were naturally attracted to it. Women would come up to me in bars. Women would come up to me in the street. I've always had that. Okay, women ask me out. I had one incident when I was 22. Or was it 21? No, I was 21. And I'd got home and I didn't have a phone in my apartment block. We had this communal phone. It was a nice apartment, but we just didn't have any phones. So the phone rang, and it's going back before cell phones. And the phone rang, but I picked it up and went down to answer it. And it's my friend Sean. He says, this, I'm not going to mention her name, wants you to take her out. I says, who's that? And he goes, what do you mean, who's that? And anyway, he said to me, it's this really popular woman and, very attractive. And he goes, how do you do it? How do you get all of these women to ask you out? And I said, I didn't explain it to him. I thought every man had it. And it was only when I started getting, later on in my 20s that I realised guys didn't have it, because they were coming to me for advice. Anyway, so I call this woman up and says, I believe you want me to take you out. Yeah, blah, 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 on the phone. And then I took her out the next night and dated her for a bit. Dead easy. But they want to be around that masculinity. They just do it. They just want to be around that masculinity. They trust you. They feel safe with you. They like that energy because they know you're not trying to take from them. What guys do that are doing wrong, why a woman's going away from me, she doesn't feel safe with you. She doesn't feel any of that energy, that natural masculine energy. So when I get you doing what you're supposed to be doing and understanding it, then women start noticing you. Like, you'll notice it in work. Other women will come up to you, or, women will be asking for your advice on the street. It's that energy that changes. Okay. What I always say to all of my guys is focus on being the man that your second wife will never leave. I'm not asking you to give up on the relationship. What you do is you just think, right, you've left me, you've cheated on me, I'm going to work on myself because I don't want this to happen in the future. Because what guys do, they keep perpetuating the problems. So if you get divorced, then you'll meet another woman, you'll make the same mistakes and you'll get divorced quicker. Do you really want to be a guy who's been divorced 3 and 4 times? Of course you don't, okay? So she loses in this. You lose if you don't change your masculinity. And when she comes back and you're in control, then she will never want to leave you. And again, what you've then got to deal with is the guilt of her cheating on you because she's in love with you. And a lot of the time, the woman was never in love with you and she's cheated on you and she comes back and then she falls in love with you. So your relationship is stronger. It's all repairable, okay? Divorces are a train wreck. They cost a lot of money and they cost you a lot of time and a lot of emotional damage. And especially if you've got children, it's not good. Okay, Now, if you need my help, if you realize you can't do this on your own, below this video is a link to book a discovery call with me. Essentially, it's a free coaching call. On that call, we're going to find out what you're doing wrong, what you need to do right, and then I'll offer you a plan on how to correct that behavior if I believe you are committed to do the work. If that is you, then book the call. Like always, thanks for watching, and we will see you on the next video.